Hello, Rio Grande City Gruya ISD students, parents, family. Welcome to our Educational Insights, the podcast that brings you thoughtful discussions on the most pressing issues in education. I'm your host, Adolfo Peña Jr., Superintendent of Schools for RGCGISD, together with my co-host for the week, Arturo Peña, from Preparatory from Early College. In today's episode, we're diving deep into a topic that concerns all of us, vaping. It is something that swept across the nation, affecting our students and communities throughout. Let's get started by introducing our panel this morning. With me this morning, we have my co-host.
Hello, everybody. My name is Arturo Peña III, and I'm currently a senior attending Preparatory for Early College High School.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And we do have two other high school students here with us today.
Hello, my name is Anneli Villarreal. I am an 11th grader attending Gruya High School.
And I'm Catherine Guerra. I'm also from Gruya High School, and I'm a senior.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Good morning. We have Dr. Karina Garcia here with us today, and we will be discussing the topic of vaping. So, Dr. Garcia, can you tell us a little bit about what is vaping and what is the certain terminology that is used around vaping?
So vaping is known as the use of electronic cigarettes that deliver an e-liquid substance. Sometimes these devices can be used to deliver nicotine, THC, or CBD, or flavored vapes. And as we've seen, this is something that's been trending, so we want to make sure that as a community, as staff, as parents, our students know, and our community basically on the dangers that vaping does have on the health effects and as well as psychological effects for our students.
And it's not just communal. It's become a national crisis. It's not just affecting our community. It has become a very big problem in our nation.
What data or statistics do we have regarding the prevalence of vaping among students in our school district? And how has it changed in recent years?
It's very normal in our community. I mean, there's very few students who know someone who hasn't vaped yet. And as far as statistics, we don't know about the long-term effects that it has, but we do know that it affects our neurotransmitters with excess amounts of dopamine, eventually causing addiction.
Yes, and just to add on that, in 2022, the annual National Youth Tobacco Survey found that more than 2.5 million youth are actually using e-cigarettes. So I think we can all agree that it is a growing epidemic, so our responsibility to stop this trend and to inform our students is more vital than ever.
I do want to add that just recently, as a superintendent, I need to keep track of these trends, right, and how our district is doing. So the way we kind of measure that as well is I've been keeping track of our alternative placements in the different areas. There's a lot of many different reasons why students are sent to the alternative center based on our student code of conduct. But vaping is a concern, right, that we've had. So I do want to state that ever since we started metal detecting our students every single day since last February, the number of cases have really dropped. And I know that we do have those statistics through our police department here in the district and the number of students at the alternative, right? But even this year, here we are at the end of the first 6 weeks, and I just met with my alternative center principal, and we were going over some of the data, and we have single digits right now from the first 6 weeks. So it's great to see these numbers going down. It doesn't mean that students are not vaping outside of school, which this is why we're having this discussion today, hearing from our students. The student voices are very important because you're there every single day in the classrooms. You're there with your peers, and you know what's going on. And us as a district, we need to listen to you so that we can help prevent, what's going on and making sure that our students are safe at school. But, we do have a lot of different techniques, which that's one of the further questions that we'll be talking about, that Dr. Garcia has in place and that the district has.
And another thing, even though we have all of these resources, one of the main ways that our students learn is by seeing their peers' mistakes. So when one person goes to the alternative center, they say like, oh, this is actually really serious, So it does show that the less people, the better.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that is our goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Based on your experiences the first 6 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, have you noticed that less students are vaping?
it has decreased tremendously. I mean, especially now, our seniors are becoming more educated, and they're the ones that are like, "Ugh, how can you vape?" Like, they're being more proactive in stopping it. So yeah.
That's great news, Mija.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is telling us that what our prevention techniques, from Dr. Karina Garcia and our counselors at the campuses, administration, and the district, the techniques that we have and measurements, is working. So it's great to hear from you all. Thank you for sharing.
And can you please explain the health risks and potential long-term consequences of vaping that parents, teachers, and even students should be aware of, Dr. Garcia?
Yes, as a parent myself, as an employee, as a community member, I feel that it's very important to share this information. As a district, we've informed our students and our parents on the health risk and also the legalities of vaping. So I'm going to go ahead and let you explain the...
It goes far beyond just headaches and symptoms. It goes further
Into like really, really long-term health defects such as lung cancer and mental health issues. There's this trend, you can say, where students have now turned to vaping for coping to their mental health issues, and it's not okay. We have counseling and we have other resources to deal with these issues, and we're not utilizing them the way that we should.
Right, and I feel that it's very important, and this is why we go out to the campuses to provide this information, because we want the kids to know that our counseling department is there, their teachers are there, their staff are there to help them. And if and so they ever find themselves that they are facing maybe a possible addiction, we do have resources to help. We have SCAN, Serving Children and Adults in Need. We have, local entities that are able to provide the services for these students. And I mean, yeah, we'll provide any type of help that they need.
Yeah.
What are some effective methods for detecting vaping among students, given this discrete nature?
Well, I had a talk with Mr. Sanchez this morning, our dean at Gruya High School, and he was telling me something that I really didn't know about. We have smoke detectors in our restrooms now, and he told me that we can't really tell which restroom it is in. It just gives a signal, hey, there's smoke in the restroom. And that's one way of telling. We have metal detectors now, and even changes in mood with students. Like if you see a student is stressing or finals are coming up and they're acting a little not themselves, that's a really good key in telling, hey, maybe something's going on with this person. Maybe they are vaping,
And I think as parents, just keeping our parents informed of the different devices that are being used, just to keep abreast of the different emotional changes in their children, and letting us know as a district how we can, be of service to those students.
Mental health checks. Again, seeing a counselor often just in case, to make sure that nothing's going on. Those are all really good ways of preventing and seeing and noticing the difference and a change in a student.
Yes, and relying more on positive coping mechanisms
Mhm.
rather than relying on something that's going to be detrimental to their health, as well as, the consequences, disciplinary consequences.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing this morning is that as students, at your high schools, each one of your high schools, you all feel and you see that the students are really reacting positively to supporting each other and really saying no to vaping, and taking a stand and saying, I'm not afraid to say, no, I don't want to try it, or no, I don't want to do it. Is that what is the message?
It's usually, the cool kids, like, oh, vaping is cool, but it's really them, the more popular, if you want to say, that are really standing against it. Like, they're seeing it as disgusting and just a bad habit, and it's a really good thing to see, and it's very positive.
Yes, no, and just like the statistics or some of the data that we have, right? Knowing and seeing that at the high schools, even the middle schools, that the number of cases at the alternative center with vaping have really dropped drastically. Ever since last February, and then even the second semester, and even now with the first 6 weeks. So all of these methods and techniques that we're trying as a district, as educators, seem to be working. So we're happy about that.
Which is really great. I mean, as much as we do as a district, as much as the teachers do, the parents do, it's really up to the kids. And once one kid stands up, it makes a world of a difference.
And your senior, it's a very important one, right? So you don't want to lose out.
No.
Or in a few minutes, we'll talk about some of the consequences, but the consequences are severe. So you're going to miss out on your senior year. And, any grade, coming to school, I'm more than sure that during the summer you're bored and you can't anticipate the start of the school year. Especially during the pandemic. The pandemic taught us a lot. We were away from socialization for weeks and months at a time. So hopefully now we get to value life. We get to value what we have, the education that's being provided to us, and we take advantage of these. Right?
Yes, I agree.
Something that I would definitely like to add is, like you mentioned, missing out on socialization. I remember when I was a sophomore, a senior, they were caught with an e-cigarette device, a vape, and that caused them to be suspended for a really long time. It was in the beginning of the school year, and that caused them to miss out the entire first semester and pretty much half of the second semester because they didn't really return until March, later April. So so it is a very big deal, and you wouldn't want to. It's just not worth it to risk it and then miss out on all the opportunities for a little device.
Yeah, and it only takes one time. I mean, some of these students have never vaped before, and they get caught the very first time, whether it's peer pressure or whatever the case may be, and it's just one time, and their entire reputation, their entire senior or whatever year they're in is over.
So two of you are seniors right now.
Yes.
What are some of the things that are going on that are fun and exciting at your high schools?
Can I go
That you don't wanna miss out on?
Go for it.
Definitely the senior sunrise. It's always like fun. Like, yeah, you have to wake up early, but it's still a really fun event because you get to enjoy the moment with your friends, listen to music, eat breakfast, and a lot of students attend. And it's a very good moment to get together. We also have your football games, the homecoming football games, your pep rallies. There's just so much that you would not want to miss out on because you do not want to look back and just miss I missed out on this because I took the wrong route and I didn't make a smart decision.
Yeah, our senior sunrise was really fun. We had a really good turnout, and today's our homecoming day. I am going to be at the game later as a cheerleader, and I'm very excited. There's so many things that I wouldn't want anyone to miss out on.
Right, and all these are fun and exciting times, right, for a
Yes.
senior or any high school student, because even the freshmen, they're going to be competing, and sophomores and juniors in homecoming court. So a lot of students participate in a lot of activities, and I know that if you're band students, you have pigskin coming up in 3 or 4 weeks. So, all these activities and programs that we have, that you have opportunities for, can be taken away but by one small mistake. So it's good that you all bring these things up and give your advice to your other classmates, because it's very important. We don't want someone to make the same mistake as those other seniors did back then.
Sure.
Yes,
Okay.
do it again.
All right. I do have another question, Dr. Garcia. Are there any specific school policies or disciplinary measures in place to address vaping incidents on campus?
Yes, aside from the preventative education that we've been providing to our students, there is a new law, and that is the House Bill 114, which stipulates that any student who is caught with a vape device, whether it's empty or filled with any type of substance, it's mandatory placement at the DAEP, which is a disciplinary education alternative program. So this not only affects, their health, this affects, their future, because this is something that's going to stay on their student record. And if they're seniors, God forbid, there could be so much more consequences. So as a district, with the new HB 114, we've sent voice memos to the parents, letting them know about this new law, what it stipulates, how it can affect their children. And we've been providing presentations from elementary, middle school, and high school. That way the kids, especially primary education at the elementary, that way kids are aware of what these devices look like, because these manufacturers are getting very savvy in the way they're manufacturing the vaping devices, where any child could be tricked, whether it looks like a highlighter, looks like a pen. So we want to make sure that these students are aware of what they look like. It's not to give them ideas by any means, it's to provide the prevention so they never get their hands on these type of devices. So Ms. Catherine is going to show you the posters that they've been putting up in the campuses.
Yeah, these are everywhere. One morning, she came over and she had them laminated and everything. They were really pretty. I put them everywhere. And some of the students even told me that they saw it. I said, hey, what's this about September 1st? And I told them that, yeah, as of September 1st, you get caught with a vape and it's automatic placement in the alternative center.
Just to add to the new House Bill 114, If a student is caught with a vape device that contains THC, that is an automatic felony. So that is something that is, that is in possession of a controlled substance. That's going to be very detrimental for their future. That's going to affect them more. That is, that's a possession of a controlled substance. So I know that Catherine and Annalie, you all have been doing an amazing job putting these, disseminating these posters district-wide.
Yeah, they're laminated in our school. I placed them everywhere, and I got some questions about them. And yeah, I explained it to them that it's automatic placement in the alternative center, and sometimes it can even be a felony. And adding on to that, that's a really, really bad thing to have on your record, especially if you plan on going to college, especially if you plan on getting a job and making a name for yourself in the future. It's not going to help to have that on your record. So it's a bad idea. Don't do it.
And is it true that it could be like hidden or disguised as a different object, such as like highlighters? If I'm not mistaken, that's something that's going on right now. Is that true?
Yes, there's different type of devices. I know most commonly known are the vape pens, but there's also new trending devices that are coming that mimic what a regular highlighter would look like, but these are used for vaping. They contain the nicotine, they contain those harmful effects for children, for our youth, for even adults. So the way they're disguising these devices are very dangerous and a great concern for our students.
What kind of assistance do students have or families have if they are having issues with vaping?
Well, basically, the students and the counselors are aware of any type of assistance they may need, whether regarding substance use. I myself can provide those resources for them. I work closely with the SCAN Community Coalition, with the Rio Grande City PD, with the District PD in providing their services. We do have some services, whether it be outpatient or residential resources for these students, whether they feel that they're, facing a little bit more issues with the substances. So we have all these resources available. We just want the kids to, be confident enough to ask for the help when they need it.
Yes, and Ali and I work very closely with Scans Coalition and with the Super Youth, and it really does make a difference. I mean, what we're doing is preventing, not only preventing, but advocating and telling people, like letting them know that it's wrong, that it's not good for you, and the progress that we've made is it's there.
Yes, and we do have presentations. We have information dissemination tables. I know that the Super Youth go out to community events, whether it be movie night. They share their information there, share information on different substances, on different resources. We have our counselors, our neighboring agencies helping us out. So it's really, I think, a community effort in helping one another and just spreading the awareness to our parents, especially, if they don't know what vaping is. I mean, we're here to provide those presentations to the parent through the parental involvement department and PSAs, whatever we can do to get the word out on the dangers of vaping.
All right. Well, any last comments that you all would like to add, or a word of advice for your friends?
Don't do it. It's not worth it. I know I wouldn't want to see any of my siblings in the alternative center, and it's very important to be a role model to all of these, especially younger generations, because they are the most influenced. And don't do it, because you do it, they do it, and the domino effect progresses.
All it takes is one mistake to ruin your future.
I kind of don't know what to say because they pretty much took the words out of my mouth. But I guess I could say don't feel peer pressure to do it. It's not cool. It doesn't look good on you. It's disgusting. So don't take that route. Don't do it. And yeah.
From a student to another.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Well, on behalf of our school board of trustees and myself, your superintendent, I want to thank Mr. Peña, my co-host,
Thank you
and
for having me.
our students here from the high school, and Dr. Karina Garcia. Thank you all for the wonderful job that you're doing at our campuses throughout the district in promoting a healthy lifestyle. So thank you very much, and we hope that you have a sensational day today.